In the stillness of Zen, we come to realize that much of our suffering stems not from the world itself, but from the chase, the constant reaching, the endless grasping for things that lie just outside the present moment. This chase, subtle and often invisible, clouds our awareness and robs us of the peace that is always here, always waiting. To live a more meaningful life, we are not asked to add more, achieve more, or become something else. We are invited to stop chasing what was never necessary in the first place. The first thing to stop chasing is approval. In the mirror of Zen, the self is not defined by the opinions of others, and yet we spend so much of our lives trying to please, to be liked, to be seen as worthy. This need for validation becomes a prison, with walls made of fear and bars made of insecurity. The Buddha taught that attachment to external validation is suffering because it is impermanent, ever-shifting, and beyond our control. If you chase approval, you become a leaf blown by the wind, changing direction based on the moods, thoughts, and judgments of others. True peace comes not from being approved of, but from accepting yourself as you are. Like a mountain unmoved by the weather, your inner worth does not change with praise or criticism. In the heart of Zen practice, we find the courage to sit with ourselves, to hear the silence beneath the noise, to recognize that our value is not dependent on what others think. The second thing to stop chasing is control. The mind seeks certainty, predictability, and mastery over outcomes. But life, in its nature, is fluid, like water, uncontrollable, vast, and filled with unknowns. To try to control everything is to swim against the current of life, exhausting ourselves and missing the flow. Zen teaches us to return to the breath, to this step, this moment. It reminds us that control is often an illusion, and in clinging to it, we lose touch with the deeper current of trust. Letting go of control does not mean giving up. It means opening up, releasing the tight grip of fear, and allowing things to unfold as they must. Like a tree that bends in the wind but does not break, we learn resilience through surrender. There is great power in saying, "I do not know what comes next, and that is okay. I will meet it with awareness, with presence, with peace." The third thing to stop chasing is perfection. From a Zen perspective, perfection is a concept created by the mind, an ever-moving target that keeps us in a state of restlessness and dissatisfaction. We compare, judge, measure, and in doing so, we miss the beauty of what is. The chipped bowl still holds tea. The crooked path still leads home. Zen celebrates wabi-sabi, the beauty of imperfection, the grace found in wear and weathering. You are not meant to be flawless. You are meant to be real, awake, alive. When you stop chasing perfection, you begin to embrace yourself and others as they are. The cracks become part of the story. The mess becomes part of the art. You breathe deeper. You forgive more. You laugh easier. Life begins to feel less like a test and more like a poem. And in this softening, you return to the present moment, the only place where life actually exists. When we release these three pursuits, approval, control, and perfection, we make space for what matters most: presence, compassion, and inner stillness. Zen does not offer complicated answers. It invites us to sit, to breathe, to notice. It teaches that life's meaning is not found in distant goals, but in how we meet this moment, just as it is. With open hands and a quiet heart, we discover that what we were chasing was never out there. It was always here, waiting patiently in the space between our thoughts, beneath the noise of striving, within the silence of being. Stop chasing. Start being. In that being, life reveals its quiet, sacred truth. that you are already enough. And once we recognize the futility of chasing what does not serve us, approval, control, and perfection, a new space opens within us, a space that is quiet, grounded, and rich with the simplicity of being. In that silence, we begin to understand that life is not something to be mastered, but something to be met with awareness, met with breath, met with an open heart. As we release the need to be seen a certain way, we free ourselves from the heavy armor we've worn for years. The persona we've crafted to win approval melts away, revealing the true self underneath, soft, vulnerable, human. And in that humanness, we are more connected to everything, no longer needing to be better than or more than. We find joy in being part of the same human experience that connects us all. The illusion of separation falls apart, and we return to compassion for ourselves and for others. No longer do we judge harshly, because we see that everyone is doing their best with the conditions they've been given. And so, compassion becomes the path. Compassion becomes the practice. When the pursuit of control falls away, we begin to trust in the flow of things, not as passivity, but as presence. Like a river that does not demand the mountains move, but flows around them, we become adaptive, spacious, patient. Life still brings challenges, but they are no longer battles to win. They are opportunities to practice equanimity. Zen does not teach us to suppress our emotions, but to notice them, to sit with them, to bow to them, without being consumed by them. In stillness, we begin to see that fear, anxiety, anger, and sadness are not flaws. They are signals, teachers, invitations to wake up. Each moment becomes a teacher if we stop running from it. And with the letting go of perfection, we return to the present in a deeper, more forgiving way. We stop editing ourselves. We stop over-polishing our experience. We stop believing that we must be fixed before we can be loved. And in that moment of surrender, the light comes in, the light of grace, the light of truth. Zen asks not for your performance, but for your presence. It asks not that you be flawless, but that you be awake, awake to this breath, this body, this moment. When we stop trying to make life perfect, we begin to see that it already contains beauty beyond words. In a crooked smile, a moment of laughter, the smell of tea, the sound of rain. All things are holy when met with awareness. The chase for meaning ends not in grand answers, but in deep noticing. You wake up one morning and realize, this is enough. This is life. This is where meaning lives, not in some distant ideal, but in the way your hands wash the dishes, the way you breathe through traffic, the way you listen to a friend with your full attention. That is Zen. That is liberation. It doesn't require robes or temples. It requires presence, simplicity, and the courage to stop running. Because when you stop running, you begin to feel. And when you begin to feel, you begin to live. And when you begin to live, truly live, the chase ends and peace begins. And as you continue on this path of releasing the chase, one breath at a time, one letting go at a time, the spaciousness within you deepens. You begin to notice the subtle shifts in how you respond to the world. You are no longer reacting from old wounds or from the need to prove yourself. Instead, you pause, you breathe, you witness the moment before it becomes a story. This is the fruit of Zen, the sacred pause, the patient unfolding, the quiet return to what is already here. And what's here is often overlooked, for it is not loud or flashy or urgent. It is a quiet joy, a grounded clarity, a gentle rhythm of life that carries you forward without force. It is found in the way the wind moves through the trees, in the softness of dusk, in the way the body sighs when it no longer has to perform. This is the reward of no longer chasing. You begin to receive. You receive yourself as you are. You receive others without needing them to change. You receive life without needing it to bend to your preferences. And in that receiving, you are healed. Zen teaches us that what we grasp slips through our fingers, but what we open to, freely, humbly, comes to rest in our palms. So stop chasing approval. You are already worthy. Stop chasing control. Life is wiser than your plans. Stop chasing perfection. There is no version of you more sacred than the one sitting here now, reading, breathing, aware. When you live this way, the ordinary becomes extraordinary. Each step you take becomes a practice. Each word you speak becomes a meditation. Each silence becomes an offering. This is the beauty of Zen. Not that it gives you something new, but that it helps you see what you've always had. You begin to understand that peace isn't a reward you earn once you have fixed everything. Peace is what arises when you let go of the belief that you need fixing. In the stillness of non-chasing, the heart remembers its natural state. And that state is enoughness. That state is love. That state is home. Let the world rush. Let the noise roar. You have the choice to step aside and sit in the silence. That silence is not emptiness. It is the fullness of being. It is your birthright. And when you stop chasing, you stop scattering your energy. Your mind becomes clear. Your purpose becomes quiet and powerful. Your actions become intentional, no longer performed to gain something, but to express something. To express presence, kindness, truth. This is not withdrawal from the world. This is deeper participation. For when you are not bound by what you seek, you are free to give. Free to love without agenda. Free to act without fear. Free to walk through life with open hands. This is the Zen way. Let others chase. Let the world strive. You, dear listener, have found the gate that does not swing with effort, but opens with surrender. Enter it. Sit in its stillness. Let the chase dissolve into the breath. Let your life unfold, simply and meaningfully, just as it is. And from this still point, thoughts, everything you truly need will come. If this message resonates, subscribe for daily Zen reflections and guided wisdom to help you reconnect, reflect, and become fully yourself. Until then, remember, the meaning of life is to find your gift. The purpose of life is to give it away.